This hasn't aged gracefully at all. Late-night programs once focused on humor, delivering a lighthearted laugh before bedtime. But ever since Trump came onto the scene, they've morphed into overt political platforms. If this were considered wrongdoing, Jimmy Kimmel would rank among the top culprits. The truth is, he's fixated on Trump. Just a fortnight before the election, he appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe, spouting some outrageous statements that haven't held up. Today, we're diving into the entire story.
Mystic person. I'm not hysterical. I laugh when people say, "Oh, you've got Trump derangement syndrome."
Yeah.
I think if you're a reasonable person, you should have Trump derangement syndrome. Right. And by the way, I think he has derangement syndrome about us too. The fact of the matter is, this is a dangerous person. This is a stupid person. And that's a bad combination. And I think what we're forgetting, I keep forgetting it, and I have to keep reminding myself, is he's not just running for president. He's running to stay out of prison. And that's a pretty powerful thing. He is literally running for his freedom.
What am I even supposed to respond to? He kicks things off by saying, "I'm not hysterical," only to immediately prove that he's completely unhinged. Typical Jimmy. His fixation on Trump isn't just a passing phase, it's practically a second career. It's as if Trump lives rent-free in his mind, and eviction isn't even on the table. You'd think he'd been personally slighted by Trump based on the way he acts, but that's TDS for you. Logic doesn't factor in. It's an emotional meltdown masquerading as political analysis. Jimmy likely imagines himself as the voice of reason, yet there's nothing rational about apocalyptic theatrics, something that became glaringly obvious when he hosted a Beatles icon.
How are you?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Are you an American citizen?
No.
You are not.
Can you tell by my accent?
Are you worried at all?
No.
You're not. Why not?
Why would I be worried?
You know, they're knocking on doors.
Hey, I'll come to you and you can say...
I'll throw my body right over you, believe me.
Believe me, credit to Ringo for not falling for it. This is the exact mindset that somehow convinced a portion of voters that a second Trump term would instantly lead to concentration camps. It's pure panic, but that's exactly the goal. Keep people terrified, and rational thought goes out the window. That's where the real danger of fear-mongering lies. It's never about reality, it's about control. Scare people enough, and they can be nudged to vote a certain way. That's why Jimmy was clearly hoping Ringo would hop on the panic train, but he didn't. Unlike some faded stars, who mindlessly echo the script they're handed, he ignored the end-of-the-world act. You'd think people would eventually notice the pattern, yet here we are, seeing the same recycled fear tactics over and over. Scott Jennings commented on late-night hosts increasingly acting as full-time activists, and he raised some solid points.
Notice these people have become pathetic. I mean, they stopped being comedians and they started becoming political activists. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel out here crying. I mean, it's pathetic. And so my question is, if you're going to have a late night comedy show, at some point people might expect it to be funny and not just a constant political screed against one party. And I don't know that this activism for 4 more years is sustainable if you're going to market something as comedy, but the actual product is nothing more than sort of lowbrow political activism.
If they mocked the left and its absurd policies, who would keep their paychecks flowing? The problem is that they've been so disingenuous for so long that audiences are starting to lose interest. It's as if they've forgotten that true comedy targets everyone, not just one side. Consequently, ratings are slipping across the board.
Point. During the Biden years, there was nobody that provided more comedy fodder possible than Joe Biden. I mean, he was a walking...
He was made fun of.
He was absolutely not.
He was made fun of all the time.
Harris was left alone.
No.
They got nothing. They didn't get 10% of what they deserved.
He's too
Unbelievable.
old.
Meanwhile, over on Fox, Gutfeld is leading the charge. He's pulling impressive numbers because he's authentic, not putting on a facade. Things have gotten so bad that NBC is scaling back The Tonight Show. airing it only 4 nights a week instead of 5. That's a significant shift in the late-night landscape. If the show were still resonating with viewers, those cuts wouldn't be happening. In a way, it reflects the changing times. Piers Morgan shared his opinion on the Megyn Kelly show, and unsurprisingly, he didn't hold back.
What the hell happened in late night in America? When Johnny Carson was the king of late night, nobody knew who he voted for. Nobody knew. He made a point of mocking both sides. Jay Leno said yesterday, he said, I don't like Trump, but it was a great week for democracy. And salute to Jay Leno. I interviewed him last year about this. He doesn't understand why these late night guys want to be so obviously partisan. Why? And they're all partisan one way. And there's a reason why Greg Gutfeld is kicking all their backsides in late night on Fox. And it's because he's genuinely funny. He's a comedian.
Exactly. It's as if they're stuck in their own echo chamber. The moment they stop catering to the woke crowd, they risk alienating the tiny audience they still have. It's turned into a contest over who can virtue signal the most, who can prove they're on the right side of history. Comedy and jokes have taken a back seat. Now it's all about ticking off every trendy cause.
I think they're sort of preaching to some weird choir that wants them to be terribly serious and take all this very personally when their guy or woman in this case doesn't win an election. We don't give a stuff. Just be funny. And one of the things that I don't watch any of them anymore, but I see the clips. They're so worthy. The virtue signaling is so pathetic. Get over yourselves and go back to being funny.
You can see it in their style as well. Real humor has been overshadowed by lecturing and moral grandstanding. Need proof? Here's Jimmy Kimmel on that same Morning Joe segment, flaunting his supposed moral superiority.
Is happening in the country, where you have 2 weeks out, and it's one thing to just look at Donald Trump and look at some, senators, but we're actually talking about 70, 75, 80 million people.
Yeah. I think we're focused on the wrong things. I think we're being focused on the wrong things. I think that there are certain news networks, if you want to call them that, who are lying to people. I think that there's a certain generation of which we are a part who are used to watching television and seeing the white man in a suit telling us what's going on in the world and believing that what he's saying is true.
The level of hypocrisy is staggering. It's as though Jimmy fails to see that he's embedded in the very group he claims to condemn. Somehow, he manages to criticize others while fully embodying the same behaviors.
I think that is ingrained in us as Americans. We grew up with Dan Rather and Tom Brokaw and Peter Jennings, and we did not question that what they were telling us was factual. And a lot of people now are looking at Sean Hannity and whomever else, and they are not questioning whether or not what they're saying is factual. And what they're hearing is untrue. And I can understand why they think what they think, because they're being told there's a caravan of migrants coming, and then nobody's following up at the end and saying, oh, there was no caravan of migrants.
After Trevor Noah's exit, there's practically no diversity or inclusion left in late-night television. So if these hosts genuinely believe in the values they preach, shouldn't they lead by example? Shouldn't every single one of them step aside and make room for fresh voices? But of course, that's not going to happen. They talk the talk, but walking the walk seems to be beyond them. And the question lingers, how long can audiences keep watching before they start demanding real change? Who will actually take the first step, if anyone at all? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's spark a conversation in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to be as informed as you are, please share the video with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.